One of the hardest things to do in this profession is getting people to be truthful and honest about the things they want to do. And even more difficult is what are going to be the limitations that prevent them from what they want to do. And one of the main ones that we don't give enough attention to, and we need to, is stress. Because we don't give enough attention to stress and identify how impactful it can be for a person, especially physically for a person. When people set their goals, like it's something that can hinders it or even prevents it from even getting started. There is an incredible book written by Robert Sapolsky called "Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers," and as unique as that title is, it's relevant because here's the premise. And it's not specific and it's not exclusive to zebras, but just wildlife in general, just animals that live out in wild. They spend an enormous amount of time in danger, and I mean nightmarish danger. And I mean at their fingertips. It's right next to them. They constantly live in horror where the predator is sitting right next to them. They can jump out of a bush, rip them to pieces, tear their young to shreds, eat them alive while they watch, and yet they don't stress about it. They don't worry about it. They don't get ulcers. It's stressful, but they don't lie. If it hasn't happened yet, they don't sit and ruminate about it or think about it. They don't. That's not how animals operate. They're prepped and ready when they need to go. They know systems are on board, and if they got to take off, they take off. But they don't spend all day thinking about it. Humans, on the other hand, we worry ourselves sick. We worry ourselves to death. We willingly view stressful material through our social media feed, through our scrolls on a daily basis, and we normalize it. When this happens, your body secretes something that's called glucocorticoids, which is just a category of hormones, of stress hormones, and mostly the main one that people know about is cortisol. And we just shoot that stuff out like there's an endless supply of it. Brain is the master gland. It tells everything what to do with your resources. And if this is not operating correctly, because it's in a state of panic, it's in a state of terror all the time, then anything you do training wise is going to become null and void or not get started or not be as beneficial than it could be. And in this book, Robert Sapolsky highlights a lot of these areas that are greatly affected. And it's not even from a health and fitness standpoint. It's just like, hey, this is what your body is doing. Because what stress is, it's uncertainty, it's unpredictability. And when you live in that state, your body doesn't know how to prepare. So it panics. It's in a constant state of trying to get the ship ready. When you live in uncertainty, when you live in unpredictability, it causes more stress for your body, and it tells your body to prepare for the worst. And when it's preparing for the worst, you can't do a great job of your health and your fitness because of what it sacrifices as far as like your sleep, especially your digestion. So if you're trying to do nutrition, if you're not digesting things, anything you're trying to do physically is a lot more difficult to obtain or even attempt. Why am I not dropping weight? Why can't I lose weight? Because you can't live in that stressful environment. You can't do that to yourself. Like when you do that, you told the ship that to get ready for war. So then to do something stressful, like what it is, a healthy stress like working out, and then have to recover from it, your body's not going to do it. We don't talk enough about that. We do too much of the production. We do too much of the things that look good and feel good, too much of the dopamine, too much of the euphoria, the pretty pictures, the sexy pictures, the pictures of big groups training, the big groups of getting after it, which are wonderful, but to not speak to the master gland, the brain, the psychology of it, the cognitive ability, the consciousness of it all. That's where the game lies. Because if you can get that to be understood, and if you can get that, and you can get control of that, anything you do physically, it's going to be a lot easier to attempt and also get the benefit from. Doesn't matter what the regimen is, doesn't matter what the supplementation is, doesn't matter what anything. If you cannot get the psychology of this brain to settle down and understand that you just can't blindly just consume stressful things, you just can't take that on and say that it's normal, because it's not normal for the body. It is not normal for the body to be in a stressful state. We have normalized as a society and think that that's the way things should be. Meanwhile, we're getting sicker, we're getting unhealthier, we're aging, we're not healing. The healing component of it. And I watch athletes, like, I'm not healing. Well, why aren't you healing? I'm doing all my rehab. Well, you're not sleeping and you're stressed. That borrows resources. This is just not I mean, it's a machine, but it's a machine that manages its resources based off of what you tell it to do up here. If you tell it to do the wrong thing, It's not gonna help you heal your ankle if you keep watching nightmares on TV. It's gonna be like, we got to prep for battle. Just the priority of what your body is doing is it's trying to protect, it's trying to predict, but you keep giving it unpredictable scenarios, unpredictable environments, so it can't plan. And because it can't plan, it is irresponsible with its resources, and it's irresponsible with the management of its resources for what you're trying to do. To it, it is being responsible because you're telling it to do it, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. We can't keep normalizing stress. We can't keep pretending like that's a normal thing for the body to go through. And we can't keep pretending it's a thing we don't talk about and just blindly just work out, train, and act like that's not going to be a factor. It is going to be a factor. So before we talk about the solutions, we need to talk about the recognition of it and the identity of the things that cause us stress and cause us harm mentally, emotionally, and psychologically.